Some of you struggled a little bit more than I'd expected on this first quiz, so I just wanted to go through it in detail and show you how to do these problems so that you won't make those mistakes again. So our first question asks you simply to find the mean, median, and standard deviation of adult women in the United States, or from a sample of adult women in the United States. So we're only looking at the women. So here's our health data. And the first sheet is health. It's got everybody, men and women. Second one is women. Third one's men. So we'll go to the women. And we scroll down, we see that it goes down to row 523. So we need the average, the median, and the standard deviation. So we've seen a couple ways of doing this. For example, if we wanted to do it using just Excel, for example, to find the standard deviation, we'd go to, first of all, we move our cursor into an empty square where the answer is going to go. We go to formulas, we go to more functions, go to statistical, we scroll down to standard deviation .s, that's the one we're using in this class. And then where's the data? Well, we're interested in the heights of the women, so that's going to be in column E from 2 to 523. So E2 colon E523, and there's the standard deviation of 3.03. So that's one way of doing it. The other way we talked about it when we want to get a bunch of these statistics at once is to put it into Plotly. So just select the whole column by clicking on the E, right-click to copy, open up Plotly, and then Control V to paste. And remember, Plotly does not like having a top row with words in it. So, and somehow I accidentally started in row 2, so I'm just going to delete both these first two rows. So I right-click, remove selected row, and now I've got just the data in Plotly. And then I go to Analysis, Basic Statistics, choose as S. This is my sample. Click on Statistics, and then here it is. The mean is 64.4, the median is 64, and the standard deviation is 3.03. So that's how you do that one. Second question, we've got a histogram with 100 employees, the salaries of 100 employees shown in this histogram below. And let's make sure we're reading the histogram correctly. So down here we have the salaries. 40K, 40,000, this is 50,000, so this must be the dividing line, 55,000. So what this column tells us is that about 7 people are making between 40,000 and 45,000, and about 12 people are making between 45,000 and 50,000. Now, what's the first question about how high does the salary have to be in the top 10%? Well, 10% of 120 employees, 10% of 120 employees is 12, so we're looking for the top 12 salaries. Well, so I've estimated the heights of these columns down here. This one is about 2, this one is about 4, so there's maybe 6 people making more than 75,000. So that's not going to be the top 10% because we're looking for the top 12 people. On the other hand, this one's around 10. We have about 10 people making between 70 and 75,000. So a total of 16 people are making more than 70,000. So 70,000 would be a little bit low for the top 10%. It's going to be somewhere between 70 and 75, and I estimated it at 72,000. I accepted 70,000, but that's really a little bit low. 75,000 is too high. There's only 6% of the people, sorry, only 6 people making more than 75,000, and that's 5%, not 10%. Next, do you think the standard deviation is closer to 100, 1,000, or 10,000? Well, remember that the standard deviation is the average amount by which the numbers differ from the mean. So if the standard deviation were even $1,000, that would mean that all the salaries were pretty close to about $1,000 away from the average. So, maybe some of them would be $2,000 above average or $3,000 above average, but they wouldn't get much beyond that. That on average, the salaries would only be $1,000 away from the mean. Well, this is so spread out. 10,000 is obviously a much better figure. And we can see that, yes, indeed, well, it's kind of hard to estimate looking at the picture exactly what it is, but 10,000 is the only reasonable number of these three, and it actually is about 10,000. And then how much do you think Pearl gets paid? Well, we've got two people making more than $80,000. Pearl's the owner, she's going to pay herself the most, so I put her at 85,000. If you said 83 or even 80, that'd be okay, but really it's going to be more than 80. Finally, question 3. Your car has a small accident, you take it in for repairs, and you're told that the average repair cost is $400. But yours is going to be in the top 20%, so you're going to be above average. Do you want the standard deviation to be small or large? Well, remember, standard deviation small means all the numbers are really close to the average. Standard deviation large means they're spread out far away from the average. Well, if you're going to be above the average, then you want to be as close to the average as possible. So you would want the standard deviation to be small, so that even being 1 or 2 standard deviations away from the mean wouldn't make your actual cost too high. So if this repair costs were way spread out, if the standard deviation was really large, then you could end up paying a lot of money. So I hope that these answers make sense and how we did them here makes sense. If not, please, please, please ask me. You need to know how to do these problems, especially reading histograms and understanding standard deviations.